The hometown hero you don't know has a name you do. One voit brother wallops baseballs. The other demands double teams and sacks quarterbacks, and he should strike fear in the heart of anyone who wants to hurt you and me. To fully explain how Jon Voight arrived here, at the front line of the most important Army football game in more than 2 decades, he recalls one specific recruiting visit to one of the schools he did not pick. The younger but no longer little brother of Cardinals first baseman Luke Voit was touring Southeast Missouri when a big screen in the football facility grabbed his attention. Wow, the former Lafayette High lineman remembers thinking. That is an unbelievable game. That happened to be America's game. Sports writer John Feinstein once named it college football's purest rivalry, and wrote a book about it. The annual clash has pages of history but needs just 2 words to those who know Army Navy. Something clicked inside Voight that day. Suddenly other scholarship offers seemed stale. The Army recruiters who made trips to his high school encountered a prospect who was in. Former Lafayette assistant coach Craig Raymond, an old Army center whose son's acceptance to West Point gave his family a 7th-generation tie to the academy, went from asking Voight to consider Army to answering Voight's questions about Army. I fell in love with it, the 6'3", 247-pound Voight said by phone after an Army football practice this week. The prestige of it, the history, the football program, the Army Navy game, everything. He wanted to become a part of this game that grabbed him. He became so much more than that. More BENFRED columns, blogs, videos, podcasts, and Saturday at Philadelphia's Lincoln Financial Field, the senior defensive end will play his 48th game for the Black Knights, facing Navy for the 4th and final time in his collegiate career. The 3-year starter has totaled 116 tackles, 20.5 tackles for loss and 11.5 sacks since his freshman season in 2014. These numbers can't come close to capturing his playing career. These numbers might help. Every year, thousands apply to West Point. About 10% get in. A sliver of that group balances a grueling workload with playing football. The team votes annually on captains. Voight is one of 2. It takes a certain kind of kid, Raymond said of Voight. Not everybody is cut out for that. Seeing how he has developed, and seeing how his teammates interacted with him, he is a natural leader. Football opened Voight's eyes to Army. The game alone would not have kept him at West Point. He fell in love with the challenges, grew to understand the discipline. Leaders Lead, podcast Benfred and Eye on the Tigers. He will graduate in May. He has his branch infantry. Signed a 5-year service commitment. He hopes to become an Army Ranger. I'm super proud of him, said Lou Voight, who once had to buy a supersized refrigerator to feed his sturdy sons. Spring training awaits Luke. An unknown assignment awaits John. But first he has a mission that, if completed, would be celebrated every place Army boots touch. Beat Navy again. Last year, Voight and his teammates snapped a 14-year losing streak to their rival. Beat the Midshipmen, 2,117. The Voight family heard from complete strangers who wanted to thank their son. You see it on the walls, Jen Voight said of the Beat Navy motto. It's an attitude you carry. It makes or breaks your season. When you are playing the game, you are not just playing for West Point, you are also playing for the whole entire U.S. Army. There's just so much more beyond it than football. This marks the 118th meeting between the 2 teams since 1890. Raymond is making the trip for the 22nd consecutive year. He and his 13 family members. It is Auburn, Alabama, Raymond said. It is Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. It is a packed stadium full of rabid fans who are totally invested not just in the game itself, but in the lives of these cadets. There is an intensity to this rivalry that makes it absolutely unique, and here's the thing, it's even bigger this year. Voight isn't just a crucial member of the Army team that snapped the streak. He is a cornerstone of a group that restored life back to Army football under 4th-year coach Jeff Monken. These guys have secured a shot at history. Last year's team claimed the program's first bowl win since 2010. This year's team already has 8 wins, along with an Armed Forces Bowl date with San Diego State. And because both Army and Navy beat Air Force this season, an Army win against Navy on Saturday would give Army its first Commander-in-Chief's trophy since 1996. Some context: Jon Voight was born in April of 1995. It would mean everything, he said. To my teammates. To me. It's a goal we've been working on since we got here. To end on beating Navy and a CIC trophy win, it would be unbelievable. It's already hard to believe. On Saturday afternoon, Voight will stand at midfield for the coin toss as CBS cameras zoom in. The cheers of a sold-out crowd will be silenced as jets and helicopters streak through a snowy sky. For a moment, the nation will remember even the fiercest football games are not wars, because the young men on both sides of this special rivalry might really go to war one day. They will fight together then. For us, your spine should tingle when you watch them shake hands. And maybe somewhere, a fire inside a high school football player will spark, like it did for a St. Louis kid years ago.